Welcome back to Rev It Up Bowling. My name is Jason Robarge, and we have a good ball review for you today. What we're going to be doing is reviewing our first DV8 ball actually on the channel, the new DV8 Chill. The Chill is part of their like benchmark flippy kind of line. Length with flip is basically what they say. It sports the Igniter Max Flip cover stock along with 1500 compound on top of it. It has an RG of just under 2.5 for a 15 and just over 2.5 for a 14 with a 0.051 differential. The layout I put on this ball is a 5.5 by 60. Same thing I did on the Fireball video that we were releasing around this time as well. This has a higher differential. What I was trying to do with this kind of bowling ball was have it for, the Fireball I mentioned was for like transition burn. This is more transition when the heads start going. I need to get through the heads, but I need enough ball to make the corner down line. With this higher differential and with just how flippy this ball is naturally, it should give me a pretty good motion. What I'll be doing today is bowling on house shot. I'm gonna be trying to just get lined up, throw some shots with the ball, and just play around the lane. And then what we're gonna be doing is changing the surface on it. These kind of bowling balls, most bowling balls, after 3 to 6 games, the surface has changed pretty drastically, and we should retouch it with whatever preferred surface you have. So I wanna do a ball review that we change the surface. That way you can get an idea on how versatile some of these balls are and how important surface is. Without further ado, let's get into it. All right, first shot with the Chill. I'm gonna stand a little bit farther right, and then we're gonna move it left across the lane and see kind of what looks best. If I had to guess, it's gonna spark up really quickly and it's not gonna hold the pocket, but let's see. Yep, I figured it was. It's just too much friction on the right side. The Pearl cover stock that's shiny, it's like a drag tire. Once it sees the friction, it grabs and goes. We're gonna move left a little bit. This kind of bowling ball, from a numbers perspective, definitely reminds me of the Stealth Pearl. And I've used that example a lot in some of my videos because that ball is so good. Is it gonna be a direct replacement? We'll see. The layouts are very similar. Gonna move left a little bit, keep that speed up some. Very nice. All right, I definitely have to throw it hard from there. There's just too much friction. But overall, they had a pretty smooth shape, but you can definitely see that flip at like 45 feet, and then it's set up into the pocket pretty well. All right, let's go move left a little bit more. I will say, Brunswick's colors they've put out recently in all their balls have been gorgeous. The Effect, the Beyond Infinity, the Fireball, now this thing. All right, left a teensy bit more, 3 boards or so. Very nice. All right, so what I saw with that one, I was in the oil a little bit more. However, it still provided its flip pretty well. It stored a little bit more energy, but I will say, if you watch how it went through the pins, it deflected a teensy bit more. That kind of tells me either my speed's too high, it needs to get to the friction a little bit more, but it needs to roll a little bit more towards the pocket. See if we get the same reaction, or if it's gonna store more energy and flip a little harder. Compared to the Fireball I just did, significantly more, even with the same layout. Remember, when you have RG and differential of a bowling ball, that's your starting point, and you adjust it up or down kind of thing. With this ball and the Fireball, everything's very similar, except the RG and differential. It starts much lower, gonna end up much lower than this ball as far as diff goes. Let's go about 3 or 4 more boards left, see what this does. I don't know why every time I get left, I just send it right. I didn't mean to send it far right, but it did recover. So that's a good sign. It definitely, a ball like this is gonna need some friction. It's not gonna be meant for, I mean, maybe take some surface on, like put some surface onto it, but it has a high diff, but it has a very clean cover stock from what I've seen. This kind of bowling ball, house shot for sure, with surface, without surface. But for me, this is gonna be more of a transition ball. Get through the heads some, maybe a little bit of the mids, but make sure that it still rolls up. Not early, don't get me wrong, but still reads the mids a teensy bit. So we'll see what happens as we move left a little bit more. All righty, move left a little bit more. It's probably the farthest left I'm gonna wanna get in this video. Doesn't really help us when I just wheel the lane. I'm gonna keep it a little tighter. Oh God, I sent it right. Why am I doing it? We're gonna go and throw one more. I'm missing like 5 boards right down lane. Ace, you're gonna have to do a form video for me next. You're gonna have to coach me. Don't get the ball behind me? Okay, all right. Don't get the ball behind my back. Got it. All right, let's try that one more time. There we go. Aha, that's what I thought. The other ones came back just fine because they hit the friction early enough. That one I kept in and there just wasn't enough friction. With house shots, sure you know, especially when I lived in St. Louis, cliff diving. The patterns get really cliffed. House patterns is meant to have a lot of volume in the middle, not a lot of volume outside, so they can get kind of cliffed. Get it in a little bit, sails, get it right quick, checks. For this type of bowling ball, and the current breakdown in lane, I'm too far left. If I get that ball in or if I miss it off my hand, it's gonna float and bucket just like I did. We've kind of reached the limit on this ball. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take it back, put some 4,000 on it, and we'll be back in a second. All right, now that we've thrown 4,000 on this, which it had 1,500 compounds, it's not much of a change. I doubt it's gonna make a massive difference, but we're gonna go ahead and start where I just bucketed and move farther back right. I think it was right here, yep. Oh, why did I send it right? Good Lord. All right, a practice session is definitely in the works now. I'm gonna go and throw that again. I'm not meaning to throw it so far right. I did strike though, that was cool. There we go. All right, so that was pretty close to the one I bucket 2 shots ago. Maybe it was a teensy bit farther right, but it definitely picked up a little bit more in that oil. It has a little bit more friction to it because it doesn't have a compound on it anymore. So with 4,000, it helps pick it up just a little bit more, but nothing crazy. So we're gonna go ahead and move right. We'll see what this added friction does as I move into more friction. So, we're gonna make a pretty far jump bracket. All right, not too bad. I increased speed a little, maybe too much, but overall, with the other bowling ball, it was definitely a little bit more flippy. You can definitely tell with this one that with the high differential and a little added surface on the cover stock, it really wants to read a little bit earlier. Let's go and throw one more. I'm gonna move a little bit farther right. Didn't even get that pesky 10 pin out. If I had to guess, it's probably still gonna check and go left, but see if I can make it work. Yep. All right, but it still wants to flip too hard in the dry, which is kind of to be expected. What we're gonna do now is put some 2,000 on it. This is where I think we're gonna really see the difference. So we'll be back in just 1 second. All right, now that we put 2,000 on this, it's definitely more dull than it has been with the 1,500 compound from factory and then the 4,000. I would expect this to be a little bit smoother upon transition. However, it is still a skid flippy kind of bowling ball, so it still should pop some. This thing really reminds me of Baja Blast, I will say that. I don't know why. All right, we're gonna move back left, see what it does. Try not to get the ball so far right. Ah, that made a big difference. Last time when I threw the ball there, for the most part, maybe a few boards in, it bucketed. That ball for sure read about 2-3 boards earlier, and it was a much slower transition. We're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna stay in the same place, but I'm gonna get the ball farther right. I wanna see what it does when I get into more friction. Is it gonna pop or is it gonna burn up? We'll see. Oh God, hello. I threw a right ace. I wish I was perfect every time. It'd make bowling so much easier. All right, so that one was right, pretty quick. It tried to cover too many boards for sure. Burn up a little bit. We're gonna move ourselves farther right, try to get into that friction, play more of that friction. All right, move ourselves about 6 right. All right. That was so good. All right, so I sent that one to about 5 right down lane at about 38, 40 feet when it started picking up. It's definitely smoother, definitely smoother. More surface, smoother shape typically. That is what I would like to throw actually on, yeah, this is definitely what I would want to throw on league night. I think the added surface definitely helped mellow this out. However, again, if I was looking to bowl a tournament with this ball, I got plenty of bowling balls that will, and surfaces that will kind of help make that shape. With this particular combination of cover and core, I'd probably want it more for a transition ball. So more than likely, I would probably throw some compound back on it at least. But for a house shot, that was pretty dang good. Let's go and throw another one of those. All right, I got that one in. Still picked up in the oil, still finished. I like it. I think that's probably where I would stand if I was bowling a league, but we're gonna move a little bit farther right, see what it does with some more friction. Remember before, when it had 4,000 and compound, when we were in the friction this much, it liked to check and very quickly. We still wanted to burn up some. So we're gonna move right, see what this added friction does, see if it blends the lane more without plaquing. All right, much better. It definitely blended better. Still a little too quick. I had to throw a lot harder. Normally I probably wouldn't play that. However, I can definitely see someone putting some surface on this ball and making it more of their house shot, smoother ball, but still Pearl. Still gets through the heads a lot more. If you guys have any comments, please let us know. Let us know if you like the surface changes in baller videos. I think logically it makes sense because we're gonna be changing the surface on these bowling balls several times throughout the lifetime of them. But it's good to know what each surface can kind of do. If you like this video, please remember to like, comment, subscribe. It helps the channel more than you may think. And we were really enjoying doing this, especially with the newer equipment now. It's been a good time and we're growing pretty quickly. So my name is Jason Robarge. This is Rev It Up Bowling. Much love, peace.